point I raised. There was a point I raised about the reaction of the trade minister to yes, before he brought in the subject that has got you also riled up, just like he is.
Me, I just pointed certain things. What did the trade minister say?
He said
there's nothing good about anybody in this government in the view of Honorable
He will not let us have the issue discussed.
Yeah.
When you are talking,
no, they are just saying
when I'm talking,
you should react.
Mr. Nyinam,
yes.
The trade minister is saying
yes.
that the banks were exploiting their customer to the point that, well, that very exploitation was to the detriment of the very people they're supposed to serve. And so they needed to be not only compelled, but also told that, well, you need to do this, reduce the interest rate in the interest of doing business in the country.
I think I started by saying that.
Yes,
are you getting me? I admit, I agree with him. You see, but you have power. That's the difference between good leaders and bad leaders. You have the power. You don't come and lament. Okay, like the trade minister is saying, the Bank of Ghana is complaining. So who should solve the problem? They have been given the mandate to solve it. Now you are coming out and you are crying. We all know that they are unduly cheating us with the ordinary man. So they've given you the power.
You are not ordinary, you are an MP.
No, when I mean the ordinary,
okay,
I'm speaking for the voiceless.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. And for that matter, we've given you the mandate. Come and manage the sector such that at the end of the day, the pressure on the ordinary man will come down. We have all admitted that, look, the banks are over exploiting us. The interest rate is too high. Bank of Ghana, you are the regulatory body. What is the way forward? These are our steps. These are the way forward. The Minister for Trade, you are there. You've come to support. You are a minister. You represent the president. And for that matter, you have absolute power. So let's look at the way forward. You don't come and lament to us any longer.
All right. The Employment and Labour Relations Minister, Haruna Iddrisu, has made a passionate appeal to the Ghana Medical Association, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, and POTAC, that's the Polytechnic chapter, not to embark on their planned industrial demonstrations. And UTAG, POTAC have served notice of a strike that is supposed to take place by close of next week. Okay. If their book and research allowances are not paid, so we're back to the subject. Members of the GMA have also threatened to resign if issues concerning their conversion differences and conditions of service are not addressed. They are saying by close of June they will do that. And well, these are difficult times as far as financing is concerned. I have to start with you,
Yes, I think the minister's call is in place. History will tell us that strikes do not solve problems in this country. We've had strikes and strikes and strikes.
Strikes will not solve, but it will bring attention.
It will bring attention.
And it's democratic.
It's democratic, yes. Everybody's allowed to go on strike. But you see, in a democratic dispensation, people hide. They hide under political parties to try to disturb the government in power. And that is...
Are you saying it's a peculiar situation to ours?
Yes, in this country, and that is illegal. And when you are detected... Anyway, let me just say this, that people who hide under the skin of other political parties to try to disrupt an agenda of the government or refuses to sit down to dialogue with government, they are all doing so at their own peril.
How about this? The government is not tolerant enough and always thinking that whoever is picketing, protesting, or raising concerns is aligned to a political party.
Let's take a case that is so simple. Talking about transformation, the government is saying that, look, looking at the consolidated fund, we do not have enough money to be able to just spill out money to lecturers who would take these monies and may not conduct research. A wise way of doing that, however, is that we will put some money in a fund that you access that fund if you want to conduct research. What is so wrong about this when it is done everywhere? But in Ghana, a gardener sometimes...
You were in the US,
yes,
and you taught.
Yes, and in our university, what happens is you are given the basic tools for research. The basic tools are you are given a computer, you are given access to research documents. that they pay for it for you, so you can access using your password. And when you file to publish an article, and it is so approved, then you are given an amount of money by your dean. In the morning, before you enter the common lecture hall, the dean will say, I have a breakfast for the lecturers. And upon entering that building, your colleagues will get up and they'll start clapping for you for the acceptance of your article somewhere for publication. That means you are enhancing to academic excellence of that particular university.
Well, I do understand all that you said.
So
but Dr. Mambuarok,
yes, but
before you go on, the fact that you have introduced a policy as a government, I'm not talking particularly you, I'm talking about just using government, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because government has introduced it and there are protestations from the community or the sector who will be affected by that, that doesn't make them
no, it doesn't make them, it doesn't make them bad people.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that...
But that's what you're insinuating.
No, what I was saying is that why can't they reason? There is a time, whether this government or another government, as a Ghanaian, I'm talking from that point, as a Ghanaian, and you know the best practices around the world. Most of these lecturers have taught in abroad. Okay? Most of these lecturers know the right thing, that our country needs money to do more things. When we were young, there was the absence of people not being paid. Things were being done very well. Today, because of our population, the expansion of our population, because of the demand of the people in terms of energy, schooling, remember that in education, the private sector has done so well in this country. Helped government, and the missionary schools are doing the same for the first time. Or, I wouldn't say for the first time, coming back the second time around. The mission schools are doing very well. What I'm trying to say is that, as a Ghanaian, and in view of all these things I'm lamenting, government needs to do something different to transform this country. The government is suggesting that there is the need to do what we call best practices around the world. Put a fund somewhere, and then you assess that fund.
That's if you want to.
Yes, if you want to.
So,
because there are some librarians that are on this, they are collecting this research allowance. There are librarians who are not doing any research. I'm talking about academia, those who are in academics and want to conduct research.
So you're saying it should be orderly?
Yeah, it should be orderly. Okay. And not just pay to people.
According to standards.
Standards, not just pay to everybody. This is what the government is suggesting. And then POTAC and others are saying no. We don't want that.
UTAG, they want to go on strike because of... we want a centralized fund for research. And to ordinary people, it should make sense.
When I listen to government communicators, I ask myself, where are we heading towards? If the clergy decides to talk about they are not performing or they are not doing well, they will say it is MPP clergy. Currently, if students are talking about their unpaid allowances, it is MPP. Anybody at all who complains, even the media, it is MPP media. Today, this POTAC UTAG issue is not new. It's been an issue that is ongoing. Today, they are hiding under a party, and they are calling to go on strikes because they may be hiding under a particular political party. This government is not honest. I always say it, and I will continue to say it. That look, sometimes even if you don't have to give, your behavior will propel somebody to agree and go with you. But if you put up the behavior that this government is putting up, there's no way and somebody will listen to you. Because this issue, what did they tell POTAC? What did they tell UTAG when they went on strike? Before, last year. They promised them all manner of things that they were going to do for them. By the end of the day, they grossly disappointed them again. And you think that it is a political party that is fueling their going on strike? You see, I don't want to go into whether they have a research fund or they don't have a research
But
fund.
that's the thrust of the issue.
Ask him. They should be talking how much they have in their research fund as we speak today.
Have they cared to ask?
Who asked? You should be putting it out there.
No. That's why the
No, when you were
government
speaking,
called for them to calm down, so that they'll go back into
We have to end the
negotiations.
subject.
When you were speaking,
And they
I
should
was
have-
just listening.
I know, but they
So
should have
listen, we have
asked.
that. Who should ask?
The POTAC
It
people
is
and
your
UTAG.
responsibility as the government to tell Ghanaians that look,
You
we've
need to
created-
negotiate. In negotiations, you don't put up
Ma,
information.
you have said- you have
you
talked
reach
about
a dialogue.
standard. Listen, you are
you
talking about
get
standard.
to you
Okay,
dialogue.
set
these two
standard.
gentlemen,
and reach
How much money have
Matthew Nindam. Matthew Nindam is a member of parliament for Kpanda, a member of the MPP as well, and we have a political scientist, Dr. Mambua Roxon, also joining us. And thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I see that the two of you. Your time.
Yeah. At least I should have dealt with this issue more in depth than I did. But better still, you don't always
Honorable,
get
you are
what you
always
get, so
complaining.
it's
Always complaining.
All right. So we're taking the break here. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up.